There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. What made me run away was doubtless not so much the fear of settling down, but of settling down permanently in something ugly. My one regret in life is that I am not someone else. Kananji yang lalu, hadapi yang baru dengan penikeziakaran. You do not write your life with words. You write it with actions. What you think is not important. It is only important what you do. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. Your life begins to change the day you take responsibility for it. Better to shun the bait than struggle in the snare. The beauty and gift of truth is that it is not dependent upon your belief in order to remain true. To force oneself to believe and to accept a thing without understanding is political and not spiritual or intellectual. The right way is always the difficult way, but it's the only way that connects us with our soul. Sadness is sometimes the start to eternal happiness. When you are present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. If only they would all just leave me alone with my books and my letters, I would be content to let life and the world pass me by. Everything is good as it comes from the hands of the maker of the world, but degenerates once it gets into the hands of man. If you really want to make an impact, consider the unborn. Peter Ojo. And that's when I realized the thing about the truth. It always comes out, no matter what you do. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. Anger exceeding limits causes fear, and excessive kindness eliminates respect. Happiness consists in frequent repetition of pleasure. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. The most confused you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something your mind knows is a lie. You should never assume. You know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me because that's how it's spelled. There are three sides to every story: yours, theirs, and the truth somewhere in the middle. I always knew, on some level, that I wouldn't live long. It's simply not written in my stars. The way is not in the sky. The way is in the heart. It is one thing to be clever and another to be wise. Create your own miracles. Do what you think you cannot do. Those who are without compassion cannot see what is seen with the eyes of compassion. A humble man will always receive the best that others have to offer, for he recognizes the truth. To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man. Look for the good in every person and every situation. You'll almost always find it. We are animals, and as animals we kill to survive. Unfortunately, some of us are monsters and kill just because they can. The meaning of earthly existence lies not, as we have grown used to thinking and prospering, but in the development of the soul. The sky is always open. You can fly anytime you like. Just make sure there is enough fuel within you and your wings are intact. Man is able to decide for or against reason. He is able to create beyond reason or to destroy below reason. Understanding is a three-edged sword: your side, their side, and the truth. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life. We cannot reach the pinnacle except by taking advantage of the abilities we have and acquiring those that we do not. Anything that doesn't take years of your life and drive you to suicide hardly seems worth doing. Champions have the courage to keep turning the pages because they know a better chapter lies ahead. Your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies. Our soul wounds took time to show themselves, and they will take time to heal. And healing requires compassion. It takes no more time to see the good side of life than to see the bad. Just keep moving forward and don't give a shit about what anybody thinks. Do what you have to do for you. The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself. Every flower is a melody that floats through the air and soothes our hearts. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. If my answers frighten you, then you should cease asking scary questions. Nothing that happens to you is meant to be. The only thing about you that was meant to be is you. Blaze your own trail. The ideals which have always shone before me and filled me with joy are goodness, beauty, and truth. When people try to bury you, remind yourself you're a seed. Anyone can hide. Facing up to things, working through them, that's what makes you strong. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Everything and everyone, including you and I, are made up of the magic from the stars in the sky. If your feet are firmly planted on the ground, you'll never be able to dance. Everything that happens before death is what counts. Feet, what do I need them for if I have wings to fly? If I had to choose between betraying my country and betraying my friend, I hope I should have the guts to betray my country. Life doesn't require ideals. It requires standards of action. No one human being knows the full truth about another human being, not even one's nearest and dearest. In prayer, it is better to have a heart without words than words without a heart. The truth cuts like the sharpest knife I've ever known. Life teaches us the right path is rarely the easy one. It's good to do uncomfortable things. It's weight training for life. Every great cause begins as a movement, becomes a business, and eventually degenerates into a racket. Even if there is a small lie in the truth you're telling, it will make the truth questionable. It would be a much more blooming world if we share with others whatever good we have in us. Do not sabotage your new relationship with your last relationship's poison. Never limit your view of life by any past experience. A life of sacrifice is the pinnacle of art and is full of true joy. Sometimes the only reason for us to be somewhere else is to see things from a different perspective. There is no such thing as magic, supernatural, miracle, only something that's still beyond logic of the observer. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. It is rare for people to be asked the question which puts them squarely in front of themselves. I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. It was always the becoming he dreamed of, never the being. Never apologize for showing feeling. When you do so, you apologize for the truth. A better future is shaped by collective efforts to make the right social and political choices as a progressive society. Avoid the inelegance of assumption, the astigmatism of disregard. Free your thoughts. Prolong not the past, invite not the future, do not alter your innate wakefulness, fear not appearances, there is nothing more than this. Creativity flows when the mind is light. Be light and ignite your imagination. Society will always be too fragile to accept us for all that makes us beautiful. Look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. When something ought to be true, then it proves to be a very powerful truth. The irony of life is that those who wear masks often tell us more truths than those with open faces. Step follows step. Hope follows courage. Set your face towards danger. Set your heart on victory. If truth doesn't set you free, generosity of spirit will. No one from the outside can tell or show you what is in your heart. We fool ourselves so much we could do it for a living. It's not what you are in life, but what you make of it. When the road ahead seems impossible, start the engine. Everybody knows death is inevitably coming, but it never fails to catch everybody by surprise every time one is going. You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. This work was strictly voluntary, but any animal who absented himself from it would have his rations reduced by half. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create.